Hello, bonjour à tout le monde. Dans cette présentation, je veux parler un peu de ceux qui ont été condamnés en prison. Je veux parler aussi de ces images qu'on a vues qui viennent de Santa, où on a tué les gens. Je veux aussi parler un peu des examens qui déroulent maintenant. Il faut faire tout pour que les parents qui ont payé beaucoup d'argent, les enfants puissent composer les examens. Donc, la présentation continue en anglais. So the first thing is we just want to acknowledge that we have heard the decision on Mancho BBC and some other people. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. To be clear, we have always asked for arrest, judgment, and condemnation, as the case may be. If the crisis comes to an end, we will be asking for amnesty for the people who have not committed violent crimes. These people should rejoin society. And so consistently we are going to do so. But we also encourage the lawyers of Mancho BBC to appeal the decision, and they have been asked to pay huge sums of money for damages. The economic damages were caused by other people. They were caused by Balla, and they were caused by the interim government, some of whose leadership is in detention. And so we're waiting for the Minister of Justice to proceed with the trial of the interim government on charges. And if it is clear that they contemplated the use of weapons to destabilize our country, of course we will have no business asking for amnesty for such people. But we will be asking for amnesty for Mancho BBC and the other people as if the crisis comes to an end, we want to put our effort to bring this crisis to an end, and as part of the reconciliation process to ask for amnesty for these people. And of course, the arguments we were making for the amnesty is that they were not violent criminals, and the state has promoted a kind of lawlessness that allows this kind of crimes to take place. And in trying to punish them, the state has also demonstrated a kind of preference for celebrities like Balla, like Justice Ayah, who have been radicalizing the people even to a greater extent, and Dr. Nganang, who has an American passport, and the Ministry of Justice tremblingly set him free. So we're calling these things out and asking the President of the Republic to exercise executive powers and to grant amnesty to these non-violent criminals. People who have not used violence we will have to call for amnesty as part of the reconciliation process. Second point is the very gruesome pictures from Santa. These very bad images. Now, we have been consistent. We want people to be arrested. We want information to be used, even to intercept them before they ever gather into groups of 40 or 30 people. They should be intercepted. They use communication devices in order to arrange these meetings. They should be arrested, tried, and sentenced. And who was arrested with a gun? We do not have any business to beg for a liberation for amnesty for these kind of people. We have advised everybody not to take up a knife, not to take up a gun. We have no business asking for pardon for you. It is all up to the state and to you. But we ask for people to be arrested and not to be killed. Even though we condemn the security forces for these actions in Santa, we want to take time also to talk to the armed separatists. The blood of those who have died. If you still hold a gun now, that blood is on your hands. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we have seen videos of some of you armed fighters. We've seen pictures of you. I want to say to your parents, the parents of these children, shame on you. Shame on you. Any child who appears in a picture can potentially be killed by any reckless security force. And you sit quietly thinking that they are protected by magic instead of asking them to come home. If you see your child in a picture, in a video, holding a gun and chanting that they are going to fight security forces, you must never go to sleep without calling that child to come back home. It is your duty. And even appearing in that video, that child is already a murderer because it is causing somebody else to lose a life somewhere. Now, the third thing is that the traditional chiefs in Northwest and Southwest, this is a critical time. You have lost your respect among the people because of your political activities. And these political activities often take you into the CPDM. And you now see yourself increasingly as executing the program of the CPDM. That program is a failure in this particular crisis. And therefore, it is insensitive for you to continue to appear to be going along the lines of CPDM. Worst of all, it is insensitive for you to declare your support for the presidential candidacy of the sitting president who has not demonstrated enough sympathy with the people of Northwest and Southwest for what they are going through. So we advise you to show sensitivity in the way you go about your political activities and your traditional activities. Now, to talk about the most important thing in this video is to talk about the GCE examination and all the final examinations that are going on now. They must go on without disruption. We are critical about the security forces who kill people, Ambazonian fighters, but we recognize that security forces which have protected our schools, protected our children. We continue to thank them, we continue to call on them to do a very professional job and to make sure that our children finish this academic year writing the exams that they have prepared for. And we want to see in September all children, including all those in rural areas, they will go back to school. And the focus must be to make sure that this crisis comes to an end before you get there. We will talk about the impossibility of dialogue and the importance of reconciliation as time goes by. So we want to say all parents and all people in society, and for the Ambazonian fighters, please stay away from the schools. You are against the people. I have made this very clear. This crisis is three sides. It's the government, Ambazonian, and the people. You're trying to hurt the people if you're trying to disrupt the exams. You're not trying to hurt the government. And you're already on the wrong side of the people. It is our duty here to make sure that by the end of the day, people will see you for the devils you are, and people will see the government for the incompetent central organization that it has been. So I want to thank you for your attention. Cameroon remains united, but we have to make sure that the value of life remains very important. Thank you.